Welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos.
Greetings to you wherever you are in the world watching us. In London, I'm Austin Okonakpan, Cecilia. Can we say it's now or never for Nigeria and their quest to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Because South Africa and Benin Republic, they just, before I had my hands on my cheek this way, now it's like this.
Yeah, that's how serious it is. It is less than 24 hours to that crucial game against Rwanda. Yes, it's a home game, but knowing that the Super Eagles haven't won at home since they started these qualifiers, so all fingers, I don't know, hands on deck. Yeah, that's a cliche you wouldn't want to use at this time. But South Africa winning, so they've opened a big gap. Now 16 points at the top of the table, followed by Benin Republic. Super Eagles still fourth on the log. We will be dissecting that, some of the things, the last-minute things they need to do. And, of course, on the show tonight, you'll be hearing from the head coach himself, Eric Chelle, and also from fantastic captain William Troost-Ekong, saying that he doesn't want to miss out of this World Cup. So we have to do the talking on the field of play. We'll listen to them on the show tonight. Of course, you get to witness their final training session right there in Uyo. And the media officer will be joining us from Uyo. The last touches they've done to ensure that, yes, Nigeria will be winning that game. You'll hear from him also on the show tonight. And, of course, it's a Friday, weekend is here. We'll be taking a look at the NPFL, all the leagues across the globe. Almost all the leagues across the globe are on break, international break, because of the World Cup qualifiers. And, Nigeria, we usually hardly have some of our players, in the national team. So the NPFL continues. We'll be telling some of the games that will be played this weekend. And, of course, the National Youth Games, it will conclude on Saturday in Asaba, Delta State. So we'll be talking about that. Lagos running away with, well, the title, right? They'll be champions. They may be crowned champions at tomorrow night, right there in Asaba, Delta State. Wemi Akiode is here. It's been a long time we did this show together. How are you? Welcome back. How are you doing?
Well, I'm good. Feels good to be back. Massive weekend, no doubt about that. Especially with the earlier results today. South Africa beating Lesotho 3-0. And then the Cheetahs of Benin also winning their game by a goal to nothing. So Nigeria fourth on the group. Even if we win tomorrow, we're still going to be third on the group because Benin already have 11 points. And then a win for us tomorrow puts us at 10 points. With South Africa far away 16 points. So it's a win or bust. And then it's 6 points or nothing. And the 6 points are still not guaranteed that we're up there. But, I mean, it gives us a fighting chance. It gives us a fighting chance.
That's what it's giving you. Okay, Abraham Joseph will also be joining us. Abraham Joseph happens to be a commentator, a multimedia journalist. He's in New York also covering the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Most journalists, before we came on the show, they told me that, he's already got a sponsor for 2026. So Super Eagles wouldn't want to disappoint both the journalists and also the fans who want to travel to the US, Canada, and Mexico to witness the World Cup that will be having 48 teams for the very, very first time. Abraham Joseph, you're ready to join us. Who have you? Okay.
Yeah, we're still waiting for Abraham to join us, Cecilia. He'll be joining us from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State's capital. That's in South Nigeria. The Godswill Akpabio Stadium will be hosting that international, that's World Cup. You see, I want an international friendly game, Cecilia. We'll hosting that 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier between Nigeria's Super Eagles and Rwanda's Amavubi. So when Abraham Joseph comes on, Cecilia, we're going to have that conversation. Hopefully, the media officer of the Super Eagles, Promise of Foge, will also join us. I hear they're just leaving the stadium after their final session. So when Promise is stable, he's going to try to log on and join us. But Akinyode, you did the analysis as regards Benin Republic and South Africa. All hope isn't lost, is it?
That's the only thing we have to hold on to, hope. Whether renewed or not, we just have to find one certain hope to hold on to. And just like Cecilia said, we've not won any home game in this qualifier. and it gives me a lot to worry. And I mean, we couldn't defeat Zimbabwe. The whipping boys in the team, they actually last on that table. But again, I think sometimes the Super Eagles are proven that when their backs are pushed against the wall, they always find a way to react. Unfortunately, they have a certain Bafana that are blowing everybody. And I'm not sure if those guys want to, give up that chance that they have now to be at the World Cup. I mean, you have a group where we have Lesotho, we have Benin Republic.
Why do you always remind us about those?
No, I'm just assuming that we shouldn't be in this position.
But we are here. Well, what are we going to do differently? Really, I mean,
we have to win first, 6 points or nothing. Yeah. That's what we need to put on board. We play tomorrow. We play on Sunday, on Tuesday,
yes.
Away in South Africa. And if we can beat South Africa away from home, it gives us 6 points. It puts us in just 3 points reach of South Africa. I don't know why Nigerians are looking for that calculation of they remove 3 points, they don't remove 3 points. But all through today, Cecilia, I've used all the mathematical formulas.
There's no mathematics.
From BODMAS to
almighty
the
formula.
X, the Y, the almighty formula. I've used everything I can use. And that's exactly where the Super Eagles put to Cecilia. And that's what happens when you don't take your chances, when you have a key game off.
Okay, you know what? Let's put into perspective, because some persons will still be hoping. Just maybe there's hope. Because I don't know, mine used to be like 86%.
No.
And then it's dropping. So today it's 25. Yeah, it's the lowest it has dropped since the World Cup qualifiers have started. So we're going to take a look at the games that have been concluded today. One of such games happens to be, of course, in Group C, where you have Zimbabwe and Benin Republic. The goal that was scored by their fantastic captain, he came to the party. And that's what you do as a captain. You come to the party. And of course, he did just that. So Benin Republic and Zimbabwe, Benin winning by a lone goal. This game was played in Côte d'Ivoire. They were not playing at home. Okay. Lesotho also, they're playing away from home. Free State Stadium. That's where they're playing. Blue Fountain, of course. That's where South Africa will also be hosting Nigeria. Maybe they decided to go there because of the game against Lesotho. So they're used to the field already. And South Africa were clinical. They didn't want to waste time. And they won 3-0. So that leaves us in a very peculiar situation. We're talking about it on the show last night that we need them to actually draw a game. I mean, how can you be talking about that? But this is what happened. Zimbabwe losing and South Africa winning. And at the end of the day, you have South Africa on 16 points, followed by Benin Republic. They have 11 points. Zimbabwe stayed where they are at the bottom of the group. And, of course, Lesotho also where they are, that fourth. Nigeria still fourth, 7 points from 6 matches. The other games in Group A, Burkina Faso beating Djibouti by 5-0, and DR Congo beating South Sudan by 4-1. So these are the games that were concluded earlier today. You go on to Congo and Tanzania, it ended 1-1. But we know Congo, they've been put out. They won't be going to the World Cup. For Kenya and Gambia, ended 3-1. And, of course, Gambia beating Kenya by 3-1. We're talking about Kenya, what they did at Chan. But then, some international players are joining. At the end of the day, they just couldn't beat Zambia at Gambia at home. They lost 3-1. Somalia and Guinea ended Guinea beating Somalia 3-0. And Uganda and Mozambique, Uganda showing what they're made of, continuing in what they did at the African Nations Championship, beating Mozambique by 4-0. So when you see teams like this actually scoring goals, and you can count the numbers of goals that Nigeria have actually scored. Of course, Group A ending the games that were concluded today, Malawi and Namibia. Malawi beating Namibia 2-1. Okay. But I mean, we'll see goals coming in. And that Austin mentioned yesterday that what he wants is a statement win. You know, when you want to make a statement, looking at what they did against Djibouti, Burkina Faso did against Djibouti, like 5-0. Can we see that tomorrow?
We defeated Rwanda away from home in Kigali 2-0. Yeah. And I think maybe we should have learned our lessons from the game against Zimbabwe. The fact that we couldn't kill that game off, and then we allowed Zimbabwe to come in late with that very season-defining equalizer that is hurting us till now. But I think I said it earlier on with a couple of my friends, and I said, I understand that there are no longer minnows in football, but if you look at the run of games that we've had today, teams are scoring. The ones that want to draw will draw. The ones that want to win will win well. Look at 5-0 away from home. Look at 4-0 from Uganda, Mozambique. Look at 3-0 between Somalia and Uganda and Guinea. Gambia went to Nairobi to beat Kenya 3-1. So you have to, even if the goals won't count eventually, what that basically does to you is that you score these goals, then the next team you are playing will know that, okay, these guys have been able to get their mojo together. They can score at every build-up. And that's the advantage you have when you're able to score all of these goals right now. I really hope we're going to get the chances tomorrow, right? The players are in good spirit. The season just started. A lot of them all got new clubs, especially the ones that moved to the Premier League. So they would certainly come to the party tomorrow. And they know what's at stake for them. Score as much as you can score. But at the end of the day, Cecilia, even if it's one we got, 3 points is okay right now.
All right, you know what, before Austin react to this one, because he wants 4 or 5 goal statements, let's listen to the coach Eric Chelle talking about tomorrow's match, especially concerning Ademola Lookman. He says that Ademola Lookman, he will start Ademola Lookman. Ademola Lookman will play a part, even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes. He's the best player. And is the best player in Africa, and of course he wants to actually have him. Let's listen to Eric Chelle talking at a press conference earlier today in New York.
Lookman, I just want to say something. Can we do a list without the best player in Africa? So this is my job to do if he can play maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. So I can't imagine to make a list without this guy. If I can have something for my player, I want that my player take this game during the first 15 minutes. We put a lot of intensity, a lot of aggressivity, and after that we need to be killer and our box, of course, in the box is your to score a goal. So the most important thing for me is the state of mind. Me and the other coach, we watch a lot of games about the team we play against. So we analyze maybe 5 or 6 games, and before the game you can give the team you play. So this is for me, and this is for the other coach. So this is why I talk to everybody, every time I talk about the game play. So I need to think about the game playing of my team against another team. So if he knows my team, I will not surprise or I will not be disappointed team because this is the football. And if you work on it, and if you watch a lot of games, you can put it to my team. And sometimes, because we have a lot of training sessions, I can change at the last moment. It depends on what I see in the pitch, what my player do in the pitch.
Yeah, that's Coach Eric Chelle talking about the fact that the players, also, you know, you talked about them starting and be aggressive and everything. These are some of the things he mentioned. He wants the players to be aggressive. He wants them to start in the first 15 or 20 minutes. They should score goals. He acknowledged that they are not scoring goals, and what they need to do is to score goals, and that will definitely put them in a better state and also a better mentality going into the game against South Africa on Tuesday.
You know, Cecilia, I struggled to do the analysis to this game. I said it last night on the show, and I still do. How we managed to put ourselves in this situation is such a tough one. You know, I don't envy Eric Chelle. We said it when he was taking this job, and when I met him in June, I asked him the same question. Are you aware you're taking a very difficult job? You know, particularly that at the time he was coming in, we could have just refreshed everything. You know, if he had gone on to get 6 points from match day 5. We won't be in this situation, you know. But hey, we can only hope, you know. He has a good team, and I totally agree with him. I will not have Ademola Lookman and say, oh, because he has not played 3 or 4 games this season, he's going to sit on the bench. You know, class is permanent, and he's a top-class player, so definitely. But I've also said it, Akinyode, that our football is not in a stage where you have to experiment with it. That's why I keep telling people, if you are bringing somebody into this team, it must be a reformer. Someone like Chris Santos Uche, if he's starting tomorrow, is somebody who is coming in to make immediate impact. So, Akinyode, everything you've read from the players to the coach and all of the conversations going on before tomorrow's game, are you convinced that these Super Eagles can give a statement win against Rwanda?
Yeah, I'm an absolute optimist. You can't take that away from me. And I've always said it that the can-do spirit literally just lives with us. An average Nigerian would always find a way to push through. But I'm worried. Austin made a very, very instructive statement that if you are bringing in players into the team, it should be people that are coming to make instant impact. And that should not be on the players alone. If you are bringing in a manager, it should be a manager that will come and make an instant impact, because you can't get sacked in Mali, struggle with some club in Algeria, and then you come to Nigeria to use the Super Eagles, the biggest national team on the continent of Africa, one of the biggest in the world, to boost your profile. And that's what we've had recently, Cecilia. When was the last time we had a manager that we could say, yes, this one is an elite level manager? I don't know if it's a mistake, but we're in this situation. We won against Rwanda and Kigali. That 3 points will have had more value if we're able to consolidate on that win with the victory against Zimbabwe. That would have been a 6 points in the bag. If we get a win tomorrow against the same Rwanda, the return leg, it gives us that balance that let's push over, let's go on to South Africa. Whatever happens, anywhere they choose to take us to, whether at the FMB Stadium or whenever they choose to take us to,
you're playing.
Anywhere they take us to, you are so sure that they will consume us. The South Africans will take over the stadium. You see when Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs are playing, 80,000, 60,000 capacity. Yeah. So imagine if they have a national team that is at the brink of qualifying for the World Cup. Because if they win tomorrow, if they beat us on Tuesday, they will have 19 points. It's as good as just, because the playoff we're even looking for, I was reading about it earlier in the week. Would have to go through an intercontinental qualifier.
Let me even break down the playoffs for you in case people don't understand.
It's only one slot that is even up for grabs.
And not just that, that playoffs happens to be the best 4 finishers.
And
the best 4
Cecilia,
will now play against themselves.
If you look at the other groups, if you look at Cameroon's group now, Chad is stopping.
Yes.
If you look at so many other groups, Equatorial Guinea, for instance, other teams have 14 points, 15 points, and they're second in their group. So I think we just have to find a way to win tomorrow's game. And winning tomorrow's game means that we have one balance, just chest it out. We've reduced the 9 points to 6 points. If we're able to go away from home, go to South Africa, win them, then we'll reduce it to 3 points. Whatever happens at that point, we just keep saying, well, it's Bafana and the Super Eagles. Let's see who goes through. I'm confident. I mean, you can never catch me in that box of thinking that we can't get it done. We can get it done. But you know, at this point, Cecilia, the 6 points are still not guaranteed that we're going. But let's have it first.
Okay.
And whatever we're able to do with it,
first
we'll
of all,
from there.
okay. You are just having your destiny in your own hands, really. No matter what, you know that you've done all the best.
You're safer that way.
But have we really done our jobs? Because that's a big question. Because when you fail to beat countries like Zimbabwe, Lesotho, and then there are big questions. They cause for questions. You played 6 games out of 6. You had 1 win,
4 draws,
1 loss. 4 draws.
Come on.
And then you have 7 points.
We
so
don't
you
have
haven't done your job at all.
Group.
That's the thing.
No disrespect to Lesotho, no disrespect to the Cheetahs of Benin, but whether you like it or not, these are teams you should be using to count goals. And let us have plus 20.
And the fact that all these teams we've mentioned, outside Rwanda or South Africa, the others don't have home ground.
Yes.
They are playing away from home. Okay. We need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll see if our guests can actually join us on the show. We're still expecting the media officer of the Super Eagles. And of course, they just left the stadium, onward to their hotel. The distance are so close. Welcome back from that break. Austin, I think we have to wrap up the analysis of the Super Eagles, because the more you try to find answers and, of course, try to say, okay, maybe they can act like this, or, it overwhelms you, and you just realize that we are talking about 3-time African champions we're dealing with teams that South Africa is the only one that have won the Africa Cup of Nations, and it's just once, and that once they hosted, and that once Nigeria did not even attend that Nations Cup. So you're talking about countries, okay. So it's hard to actually analyze,
But unfortunately, we cannot stop talking about this particular Super Eagles and the mission because it is massive. It's the World Cup, and let's not forget, we missed out of the 2022 edition in Qatar. So that will be back-to-back misses, which isn't good for the development of football in the country because this is the biggest stage. This is the brand of Nigeria's football, the Super Eagles. But you know what? Let's check out the look and feel in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Abraham Joseph is right there. Let's speak to Abraham Joseph. He's a football commentator right there in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Abraham, good to have you join us on Sports Tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Austin. Good evening to everyone watching. Such a beautiful moment for Nigerians as we prepare for the AFCON, for the FIFA World Cup qualifying game, I beg your pardon. But I honestly, genuinely can't believe I am on Sports Tonight. This is...
You are, and we're glad to have you, Abraham. What's going on? The Super Eagles, I listened to the captain of the team, William Troost-Ekong. I listened to Alex Iwobi. I listened to Frank Onyeka. They're saying the fans need to support them. How ready is Uyo and the fans and the supporters to cheer the Super Eagles to victory?
Already here, 100%. I mean, I can't remember a home game that we played. The Super Eagles played here, and the stadium was silent or the stadium was calm. It's always very vibrant. It's always very lively. The support is always there. Anytime a goal is scored, the chants come up. You know, they start screaming the names of the players. They always know how to support. Everyone here at the stadium know how to support Super Eagles. So one thing that I can say will be there tomorrow in the evening when we play Rwanda is the support of the fans. They will be there to give their 100% every time.
Fantastic, AJ. We'll still stay in New York. Promise Efoge, media officer of the Super Eagles, joins us now on the show. Good evening, Promise. Welcome to Sports Tonight.
All right, Austin. Good evening. I'm glad to be on your show today. I'm sure the conversation has been very, very wide and broad, especially with South Africa winning earlier today.
I know.
And a lot of persons have been bringing out their calculators. But I always will say that the Nigerian national team does a lot better when they have their backs against the wall.
I see, Promise. I love that confidence booster that you're bringing to me tonight. But Promise, how ready are the Super Eagles? Are they going to give us a statement win against Rwanda tomorrow?
Well, they have no choice. They have no other choice but to do so. Beating Rwanda, I mean, as far as tomorrow's game is concerned, picking the 3 points wouldn't just be enough. If you take a look at the table now, the goal difference, South Africa has a +8, while we sit fourth, thereabout, with a +1. So beyond the 3 points, we are condemned to score goals. You know, and if you take a look at the firepower of the Super Eagles at the moment, with Victor Osimhen, with Tolu Aroko-Dare, with Cyril Dessers, I mean, looking at the quality we've got in attack, I mean, that's somewhat boosts confidence that we may be able to get as much as 3, 4, 5 goals tomorrow.
I love that. I mean, as much as 3, 4, 5. Austin says 5, right? I said 3. So it's within the range. Okwemi has refused to actually predict how many goals. Promise, the training today was at 6 p.m. I'm like, the game is 5 p.m. tomorrow. Why are we training that late? I mean, you just said you were coming from the stadium at this late.
It wasn't about training late. It was about the coach wanting to take more time to drill his lads. We started training when we were supposed to start training. But of course, we are playing at home. We own the stadium. And so nobody will come chase us out of the stadium. If the coaches want to do a lot more with the players, if the coaches want to push a lot more details and really have to talk to the players and instill how he wants them to play. I mean, he's got the pitch to himself. He's got the edifice to himself. He's got the space and the time to himself. So training took a little bit more than the stipulated time because we have the advantage. We're playing at home.
And we haven't won at home. Let me quickly, before you to Austin again, let me quickly go to Abraham Joseph. Joseph, you watched the training session all through. What did you see that is different from what you've been seeing watching Super Eagles playing in the U since the qualifiers have started? Joseph, are you there? Okay. Okay, Austin.
I think Abraham is struggling. Abraham, can you hear me? Okay, we're having a bit of network issue. Let me go to Promise. Promise, I've been looking at what can make it work for the Super Eagles tomorrow. I know it's going to be team performance, but what can make the difference with what you're seeing at close range?
Everybody will make the difference. Football is a sport. I don't want to single out any player. If you have seen the team train, you will see they are playing collectively. Anyone from the midfield to the attack can score goals. We've got midfielders who've got heavy shots on both foot. And so tomorrow's game is one game I look forward to. In as much as we seem to be in a very difficult situation, self-made, if you ask me, but I am an optimist. You know, I looked at the records. You know, the first time we qualified for the World Cup was in 1994. We were there in 1998. We were there in 2002 in Korea, Japan. We missed out Germany 2006, but we came back. South Africa 2010. We were there in Brazil 2014. We were there in Russia 2018. We missed out Qatar 2022. So since we started qualifying for the World Cup, we've never missed 2 World Cups back to back. You know, and so I still believe we will qualify for the World Cup. I've told all who cares to listen to me that regardless what we see now, right, the Super Eagles will be at the World Cup next year.
Okay, Austin, maybe he's smiling. He needs to see something because I said, my confidence has dropped to 26%. So, when Promise, is this affecting you? His level of confidence?
Yeah, Promise is promising us.
Yeah, then, he's an optimist.
He's giving us what we want. First off, being a media officer. Secondly, being a Nigerian. And I said it. Sometimes maybe some of these players don't know how important it is for Nigerians when the national team plays. Whether it's the Future Eagles, the Flying Eagles, the Golden Eaglets, the Super Eagles, whatever it is, as long as it's a national team, we invest everything into it. And it's even very important that we're in a situation where we have to prove a point. It's not like we've qualified or we can afford to lose a game or drop a point. We are condemned to win. And I'm sure the players are also feeling the intensity of the vibration of the fans. I mean, they read social media messages. I'm sure they've also seen the result of games earlier today. So they know that as early as possible, just spraying those balls. There's nothing like build and do tiki-taka. Leave Arsenal and Barcelona now. Play to your strength. And we cannot have the luxury of the strikers that we have right now. We have Victor Osimhen, we have Tolu Arokodare, we have Chrysanthus Uche, we have Siridesa, we have
the biggest
Samuel
boy.
Chukwueze. We have the best of the players. So imagine a World Cup in US, Canada, Mexico, the first tripartite World Cup, and you will not have the biggest national team on the continent of Africa. You will not have the former African Footballer of the Year, the current African Footballer of the Year in Victor Osimhen.
I think that's enough.
I'm not thinking we're
it's unthinkable, right?
It's unthinkable.
It's unthinkable. I don't know if Benjamin Joseph, is he Joseph ready now? Abraham Joseph? Yeah. Okay, I think he still hasn't been able to join us. So, okay, yeah, Joseph.
I can hear you.
Okay, all right. You know, I talked about earlier that you've been watching the Super Eagles, train in Uyo and what they've done. What have you seen differently in this? What's different this time around? Because, that same Uyo, we haven't won a game. So are you confident that we're going to get that victory in Uyo tomorrow against Rwanda? What have you seen with this current training session that you haven't seen in the previous ones?
I think the Super Eagles have always been serious in all their training sessions. I don't think there's ever been a training session where the players came to town and thought that we can win this game easily or it's a walkover. Every training session has always been good, but I think the last few sessions we've seen, especially on Wednesday and then Thursday and then of course today, Friday, the last one. One thing I have noticed is the fact that there's been much more intensity. You know, the players, when they came down from the buses to, hit the training ground, no one's smiling too much. Everyone is just going straight into action, straight into business. I mean, the only player that was actually quite smiling towards the fans was Ola Aina. I think you've seen on social media that it was trending. He was taking out his phone and also recording the fans and journalists who were also taking pictures of them. So he was telling us that I can also take videos of you guys as well. But to be honest, he was the only one that was ready to, to wait and just have fun with the fans. Every other Super Eagle that was available went straight to the training pitch at the Nest of Champions, went with the team to prepare. And I feel like we all know that Rwanda are no walkover, no pushover. They beat us at that same stadium last time they were there in the AFCON qualifying series. And this time around, it's the World Cup qualifiers. So we don't have the excuse that match is not important anymore. We actually have to go out there and give 100%.
Right. Yeah, because we have one that is important. Now, I want to let Promise go, but Promise, before you go, leave some words of assurance for Nigerians to hold on to before tomorrow's match.
Promise.
I wasn't the one who sang assurance. It was
but your name is Promise.
Give us a promise for tomorrow.
But one thing is certain, based on conversations with the players, based on the renewed mindset, the majority of these guys have not tasted World Cup action. Troost-Ekong was addressing them earlier today, and he was telling them about his experience at the Russia 2018 World Cup, and he said that is one of his best memories as far as football is concerned. So every player wants to be at the World Cup, and I can tell you for free that these players are desperate to be at the World Cup next year. Is it too late? No. We've got 4 games to play. 12 points possible, and a total of 19 points still very possible. Will 19 points take us to the World Cup? Let's get there first. But one thing I assure you is that this particular team are willing to be at the World Cup, and they will do everything possible to do so.
Promise, say you promise.
That's an assurance.
Thank you so much, Promise Afoge, for your time on the show tonight. Super Eagles Media Office. Always a delight. Promise Afoge speaking to us from Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. And I must say, Abraham, Joseph, thank you so much also for your time. Let's see if we can bring you back on the show again on Tuesday, Abraham. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Mr. Austin. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So that's it. I promised talked about William Troost-Ekong, the captain of the Super Eagles, speaking about his experience at the World Cup in 2018. Let's listen to him talk about this game against Rwanda tomorrow.
Window is always particular when you have a team full of very talented players like we always do in Nigeria. It's normal that there's going to be movement, players making the next step up. Also making a small reference to Ademola Lookman. I think all of us have really followed and are supporting him. The coach said he's the best player in Africa, and from what I've seen in his days also has been even more motivated, and the Lookman that we know and who's consistently always been professional, worked hard, trained hard. So yeah, it's not my choice to make, but I think I can only speak on behalf of all the players that everyone who's here is focused 100% on the game tomorrow. We have had meetings among ourselves, we had meetings with the coaching staff. There's been a lot of talk about the importance and the gravity of the game tomorrow. And the only thing I can say that we are really focused. We know what to do, we have worked, prepared the right way. And I think you get confidence from good preparation, and that's been very good this week. And I think all the players understand with this generation that how important this moment is. I don't think there's ever a question about players not willing to be somewhere. If you guys want to be at the World Cup, imagine how we feel. So that's the only thing I can say. We're really focused, and that's the only thing we can do. We'll give our maximum tomorrow. We'll take it step by step. Like the coach said, there's still a long way to talk about the World Cup, but we have to focus on the game Saturday. And we can only try to control the things that are in front of us, and that we can actually control ourselves. And the rest will be people's up.
Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong. You've listened, I'm sure you've listened to the players over and over again. What else do you want to hear?
Nothing much. I mean, we've had people that have been with them this evening, and you listen to Abraham Joseph also promise a full year, and I think the message is clear. The players also feel intensity, the intensity of what the fans are expecting. So it's a win or bust for us tomorrow, and we just have to find a way to get it done. Promise is looking at 19 points. South Africa already have 16 points. So for us to get 19, we have to beat South Africa and hope the other results also go our ways, and that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot, Cecilia.
All right, that's why I don't have my calculator. So those that want to calculate should keep calculating. Let's take a look at the NPFL. Yes, it's the weekend NPFL games that we've played across the country on Sunday, precisely. You have Barrow and Benin Insurance. They will be in action. They host Benin Insurance playing away from home. Economic Warriors and Rivers United. Rangers and Plateau United. Enyimba and Nasarawa United. You have Katsina and Kun Khalifa. It's more like a Northern Derby. Niger Tornadoes and Bayelsa United. You have Remo Stars and Warrior Wolves. Shooting Stars and Ikorodu City. Then you have Wiki Tourists and Abia Warriors. So these are the games for you. Oh, okay, Kun Khalifa is actually, a team from the southeast. Why do I always forget that? I think it's the name. These are the games for you for March Day 3 fixtures. So it's still early days. Austin, I know one particular game will get you talking. I miss Abia. I miss Aqua United, actually. Most times we always want to go there. Wait for the NNL to start and they'll get to see them.
Celia, you're not going to do this,
I just miss them.
It's almost unfair, but you have to miss Aqua United too. We should. They play good football, but unfortunately, football happened. I can't even believe it. When did the league start? We're already talking about March Day 3. Action-packed auto sports. I'd like to see Enyimba show some prominence in that game against Nasarawa United. I like the way the league has started. Match Day 1, 2 away wins. Match Day 2, 2 away wins. Can Match Day 3 give us 3? Well, see teams go away to, get us talking.
I see 1, 2, 3. How many away wins are you expecting?
I don't know. For Bayelsa United unbeaten, yet to even concede a goal. So they can just, put it off tomorrow, or Sunday rather, against Niger Tornadoes. But I think the big game is going to be between Shooting Stars and Ikorodu City. That's the Southwestern Derby. And then for Plateau United, I think it's not been a welcome party for coach, their new manager. They are yet to win a single game this season. They lost at home last weekend. They lost away the previous weekend. But I mean, everyone just, Nigerian league, if you slow too much, you're going to slack up on you. So everyone just had to put it off. For Barrow FC, they got a point in their match day 1, but they got welcome properly in the Nigerian Premier League in match day 2. But they'll be playing at home. So let's see how big they can get on that one.
Okay, let's see how big it can get. And of course, the youth games. Yes, let's quickly take a look at the medals table before you get to listen to those who are insured. Not really to those. You get to get reaction from that. We'll just take a look. Lagos State, of course, 99 medals in total, but then they have 48 medals now. Swimming accounted for most of the medals they've won. Silver 29, 22 bronze medals. Edo State followed 33, 14, 24, and 71. Delta State 31 gold medals, 36 silver, 33 bronze. Of course, they have 100 medals in total. Kwara followed by Kwara. Kwara is now in the top 4. Kwara having 15 gold medals, 42 in total. And Abia, of course, completed the top 5 on 13, and of course 34. As at the 34 medals in total. The last time, we're monitoring the medals table. Bayelsa 9 on the log. Apparently, they will not move up to the top 5 the way it is. Let's listen to journalists that have been covering National Sports Festival and also the Youth Games, and also listen to DG, Lagos State Sports Commission, the reaction from the National Youth Games.
These Youth Games has been a little bit on the low side because we've been to several Youth Games. The Delta standard has not been what we've been seeing here. However, the competition has been very impressive. We've seen the youngsters emerge, records broken in different sports. And we've also seen a dethroning of perennial champions, Team Delta. Right now, trying to claw their way back to the top. For the first time in a long while, Delta is trailing. You agree with me that some of these athletes we're seeing here were at the National Sports Festival at Abeokuta. And they came in as young kids, under 12, 13 years. I remember one from Akwa Ibom. She was there, one of the invited junior athletes, Hefziba. She's from Akwa Ibom State. She just ran her 800 meters where she placed second in the heat 2 of that event. Now, these were kids who competed against more experienced and older athletes. And so that experience is what we see here at the National Youth Games, because having competed with the senior athletes, they're bringing that confidence and, of course, that experience to bear here. And that's why Lagos is leading, because, like in swimming, most of the athletes who represented Lagos in swimming were the ones who represented Lagos at the National Sports Festival. They didn't win much, but here now they dominated swimming, which used to be the bedrock for Team Delta. But then Lagos going home with 19 gold medals out of 26, out of 25. It tells you where Lagos is right now.
We are so optimistic that at the end of the event, Lagos is going to come top. We're going to maintain our lead, and we're going to be the #1. We have become the talking point of everybody within this space, and they have been asking how Lagos is doing it. Lagos has actually regained its position as the powerhouse of sporting, activities and action in Nigeria. I would say there is need for us to improve in some areas of coordination, the timing, some of the facility, like we just played the football, we just actually played against Delta State. And both teams were actually speaking about the need to improve the condition of that facility within which they are playing. And also we need to emphasize the need to actually, respect the sanctity and the foundational, principle of these events, that it is within and dedicated to grassroots sport development. That means you are engaging people within the school age category. We saw a boy who challenged from Lagos State, a 14-year-old, schoolboy, Emmanuel, who challenged, somebody that was presented by, I think, Delta State, who is actually a national athlete. That is really, really impressive.
Really impressive. Tells you a lot, right? So Lagos State running away with it. Austin, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, I like what the DG Lagos State Sports Commission talked about, and we know that Lagos State, they've done more than enough for grassroots sports development, but we want them to do much more, because Lagos State can actually be that shining light, with the athletics. I heard some things that I really didn't like. Some kids who competed in a championship for under, I think, 16 in Lagos, going to compete at the National Youth Games, and we shouldn't see these things as just witch hunting or something. It's about doing the right things. It's about ensuring that we protect the future, of these young persons that are under our care. So shout out to Lagos State, shout out to Delta State. I think Kwara isn't doing badly. Edo State also, Bayelsa State, At this stage, me, Cecilia, I'm big on development. Yeah. I want it to be win-win-win, or this one is on the medal table, got this, got that. Now that these young guys are getting the attention of the state government, after this competition, let's not go to sleep. Let's do much more. That's a good place to leave it. Yeah. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Femi Akede, just wrap up the National Youth Games for us. I've been enjoying it.
Good one. Yeah. We are the future. That's the theme of this year, and that's really important to me. Beyond winning, I hope we'll have a follow-up plan for these little athletes.
They're starting with the intermediate.
11-year-old kids, 13-year-old kids that obviously never left their parents and all of that. So if we're able to catch them young at this age, then we'll not have to use 20 years to keep recycling the same set of people. So we have them, broken records, they've gotten exposure, let us follow up for them.
Yeah, follow up, and that's why that intermediate competition is actually important that the National Sports Commission wants to come up with. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Omogbe. Have a good night's rest, and also wishing the Spragos all the best against Rwanda.